typical.
It's not. It's a huge bruise on your arm.
Yeah, you know why she got it? Because she struggled. If you don't struggle, you don't get a bruise.
Makes sense.
I have gotten...
I could never, if I ever need an IV, just kill me.
Do you remember?
I could never.
Do you remember when I had my kidney stone stuff and you know how many times I went to the hospital? 3 times. You know how many IVs I had? 3. You know how many bruises I had? None, because I didn't struggle.
But you're also scared of needles.
Yeah, I'm terrified of needles. So you'd think I'd struggle, but no, you gotta tough it up. You just put your arm out.
No,
And you
I
think
would
about
just
something else.
die. I would just, go ahead, just start it, cut me off, just kill me. I'm not getting one of those in my arm.
I literally, when when they're like, okay, we're gonna put in the IV, I always go like, hey, okay, don't tell me what you're doing. I just want you to, like, let me know when it's gonna happen so I can be mentally prepared for it. But then don't say anything until it's done, and then when it's done, I won't look at it, and then I'll pass out, and he'll be like, okay.
You don't do like, they don't have a countdown or anything? Or
No,
like...
I tell them, I'm very specific, because when they come out with the IVs, I'm like, I'm terrible with needles. I'm better with IVs than I am with needles. But that's just because of, like, I've done so many IVs now.
You poor thing.
Yeah.
My God.
I mean, because I had to have IVs when I got my wisdom teeth taken out. I had an IV in the hand.
You got your wisdom? No, not in the hand. No.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yes,
No.
it's the worst.
No.
It's the worst. It's so much worse than the arm. It really is.
No.
But I've had one in the hand twice. I had it for then.
I'm gonna throw up.
Do you need to stop talking about
No,
this?
it's okay.
Because when you have surgery, they don't want to put it in your arm because they want to be able to move you around.
Yeah.
So when I got my wisdom teeth taken out, and then when I got the uteroscopy.
Do you have a uterus?
No, urethroscopy.
Yeah, I don't think you have a uterus.
I don't know what it's called. I looked it up earlier, but I don't remember.
Hey Siri.
Hey Siri, what do you call it when they go up the penis to get to the kidney stone?
Okay, I found this on the web for what do you call it when they go up the penis to get to the kidney stone. Check it out.
Didn't think we'd be hearing Siri say penis today, did you?
I did not, but that was a delight.
It's uretero scopy. Ureteroscopy. Ureteroscope. They stuck a tube up my penis and shot a kidney stone with a laser.
You think spelling the word out is gonna help me? Because it's not.
Okay, I thought it was helping me a little bit, kind of.
No.
Shut up. Just shut up. You be quiet.
By the time you got to the third letter, I forgot what the first letter was.
It's fine.
I don't get it. You know how when you're like a child, or even if when you're like 20 and you don't know a word, so you spell it to your parents so that they will tell you what the word is. I don't get how do they know? Like, how can you keep all the letters in your head and then like sound it out? Like, I don't get it.
Well, you are the person that thinks there's 27 letters in the alphabet. So it makes sense that you don't quite get that one.
But like, if you were to spell a word out, like, okay, if I knew the word, I guess if it was something really easy, like birthday, or I don't know, a common word. But if you come up to me with like a word that I'm not like familiar with and you spell it to me, I'm not gonna know what it is.
Like pronunciation wise?
No, like
at all? You just won't know the word at all.
Like, I don't think I will. Like, if you're coming to me asking for pronunciation and you're gonna spell the word to me, I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can tell you what the word is. You're trying to think of a word, aren't you?
No, maybe.
Oh,
you don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, so when you get it in the hand, like, cause...
Oh, no, we're talking about that. Go ahead.
Did you want to get off that?
No,
I'm coming back. I gotta finish the thought, because then people will be like, you didn't finish the thought. And
Okay.
I'll be like, yeah. Oh, my dad cannot listen to this part of the podcast. He's gonna freak out. He can't do needles. He's worse than me.
Really?
Yeah, like even us just talking about it is gonna make him be like,
I'm already, but I'm still here because
Yeah.
you won't stop.
I won't stop. But like I said, because they want to be able to move you around and move your arm around, so they have to put it in the hand because it's more accessible. And so to get it in the hand, they have to put a what is it called? A tourniquet. Are you good? Are you gonna puke?
No.
Did you puke a little?
No.
You have to put a tourniquet on your arm to make your veins swell, and then they can put it in. Anyway.
No, I can't. I don't know why it bothers me so much. It's a needle in your arm, and it stays.
Well, actually,
and it
it's not
stays.
the-
Why does it stay?
it's not the needle.
It's not. I know it's not the needle. I know it's like some flexible like material, and it's supposed to be like you can move, and it won't. You'll be fine. Like it might hurt a little bit, but you'll be fine. But like no, I think there's a needle in me, and it's not
there's-
supposed to be in me.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I move at all, like it's just gonna like it's gonna pop back out. It's okay.
Yeah, no. Well, this is media for the intellectually impoverished. So that is all gonna be in the episode because
Great.
I put the intro right here. So booyah,
Damn it.
go me. Sorry, Dad.
Sorry, babe.
Not sorry. What are we talking about today, Randy?
We're gonna talk about romance.
Wait.
We didn't do our intro.
Yeah, wait, no, shut up. Okay. Take two. Okay, so this is media for the intellectually impoverished. I'm Randy,
I'm Taylor,
and together we make a podcast.
where we enrich your mediocre lives.
Glad you went with that. That was fun.
Yeah,
Um,
that was dumb.
it was really dumb. She's Randy.
I'd hope by now they would know.
Well, maybe it's their first episode.
Why are they starting on like the 11th episode?
You know, it's just sometimes people will just click on the most recent episode.
That's very true.
She's Randy.
I'm Randy. That's Taylor.
I'm Taylor.
I'll take it. Today we're gonna be talking about romance.
Romance.
I am a hopeless romantic, and when you told me that we were going to be doing romance, my mind it stopped working because I could not think of a movie. I was like, I've never seen a romance movie, and I had to like, yes, you have. You've seen every romance movie.
But it's like when you put on the spot to find something for the podcast, it's always just like, I don't feel like I've ever played or done anything or seen anything like that.
I've never done anything.
I don't exist. Like, I'm just a...
I don't exist.
I'm a non-corporeal being.
I don't know. It just, but also like romance is my jam. Like I love romance. I'm a hopeless romantic. I want everyone to get together.
Everyone needs to be together all the time.
All the time. And I just couldn't think of any. Am I going first? I'm assuming so because I think
can.
you went first last time.
I don't. If you want to go first, you go first. I'm totally fine with having more time to come up with a recommendation.
So I couldn't think of any movies. And I looked up romance movies. I have to tell you my whole process. I looked up romance movies, and they're all like these recent films that came out in 2019, 2020, and some coming out this year, and they all look terrible. But I guess all romance movies look terrible. I don't know. The main thing is, or I feel like the main, like, I don't think there's ever, maybe there are. I feel like the most common romance movie is a rom-com, a romantic comedy.
I would agree, because I was thinking about, like, even from video games, like, it's difficult to just find a romantic video game without some kind of twist.
I'm so excited for yours, because I've never seen a video game. I don't think I've ever seen a video game that has romance in it, besides maybe Mario and Princess Peach. That's about it.
I mean, I've got a pretty good one.
Okay.
But you will see when we get there.
Okay.
I also have like a really, really stupid one that I could just mention for fun, but that's a spoiler for the end of the podcast.
You have to work for it. So I looked up romance movies. I don't know any of those. And then I looked up right now before we started. I was like, I know I've watched romance movies, so I have to look them up. I have to find some that I've seen because I know I've seen some. I looked up teen romance movies.
That was a mistake.
Oh my God. No, those are the ones that I've seen.
Those are all the ones you see. Oh.
All of them.
Teen romance movies.
I'm talking about The Fault in Our Stars. I'm talking about Paper Towns. Talking about 5 Feet Apart. If I Stay.
You know what's funny? I think I can recognize all the names from seeing the trailers for those movies at other movies, but I've never watched a single one.
You've never... I love... Okay, they're not all great, and they're all... I mean, yeah, they're all pretty cringy.
I mean,
all teen
most romance movies are hokey.
They are. Even the one I'm going to talk about is hokey. I wish I would have... I don't wish. I'm proud about the one that I'm going to talk about, because I like it. But I should broaden my horizons and actually find a romance movie that's maybe not hokey. I think you can find those in TV shows.
Yeah, I think TV shows do less hokey stuff. Well, and
And-
also
Because you have longer time to like actually develop the relationship. But I think like Jim and Pam in The Office and Ross and Rachel and Friends. I love a lot of sitcoms, so I think all of those relationships are pretty good. But again, you have a lot of time to develop them. Anyways, so the movie that I'm going to be talking about is Palm Springs. Have you ever heard of it? I'm assuming not.
Yes.
So it's a film that came out in 2020. It's on Hulu. I think it's a Hulu original. Could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's a Hulu original. It stars Andy Samberg. Sandberg? Is it
Sandberg?
Is it San or Sam?
Sam. Hey Siri, who is Andy Samberg?
Andy Samberg is an American comedian.
Samberg.
Sam?
Sam.
Samberg.
As
Okay.
in Samantha Berg. No, shut up. That was really mean to Siri.
It was very aggressive.
She like blinked and then she was just like, yeah. She kind of sad. I'm sorry, Siri, but I'm not.
Oh, I'm not gonna be able to say the woman's name.
Oh, because you can't spell it.
Oh, you shut the fuck up. Kristen Milioti?
Spell it.
Can you? If I spell it to you, you'll be able. Milioti.
Milioti.
Milioti. Okay, you're a bitch. It stars Andy Samberg and Kristen Milioti. Andy Samberg, he's been in Brooklyn Nine-Nine and a bunch of other like comedies. He's a really, really funny guy.
I did just watch a comedy with him in it called Hot Rod.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's not like amazing. It's really fun because it's like a compilation of bits from a bunch of just Saturday Night Live people, because there's a whole bunch of Saturday Night Live actors in it, and it got like a terrible score on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's really just like a stream of consciousness comedy.
Makes sense.
And it it was really, really funny. I don't want to give away my favorite line because I like go watch it just for fun. It's like if you and like 6 other people or like don't know what to watch, just find Hot Rod with Andy Samberg.
With 6 other people, don't watch it alone.
No, because it's not fun if you watch it alone because it's just such a irreverent comedy. But like if
Okay.
you watch it with a bunch of other people, it's really fun.
Gotcha. Okay. And Kristen Milioti, she is I only know her from one thing, and she's the mom at the end of How I Met Your Mother.
She's the mother?
She's the mother.
Oh my goodness.
Have you seen How I Met Your Mother?
No.
Okay, well, you can shut the fuck up. That's another show that has a really good a romance in it. I don't like the way that it ended. I won't give away who actually ends up with who because that's like the whole point of the show, but I didn't like the way that one ended. But I have to give them props for actually making good characters who actually worked together. Anyways, Palm Springs is about a man and a woman who they don't know each other. They're strangers at a wedding, and they keep living the same day over and over again. They keep living the wedding over and over again.
Both of them?
Both of them.
It's like Groundhog's Day, but with romance.
Exactly. And I just watched it. I was at work. My boss left. Hopefully she doesn't hear this. And then I turned on the movie and I watched the movie.
So it was on Hulu?
It was on Hulu.
Hulu. Do you have like Hulu Plus or do you have like just college student Hulu?
I just have college student Hulu.
Oh, so it had ads.
Yeah.
Gross.
But ads don't bother me. They do bother me when I go to my boyfriend's house and we watch, because he has like premium. And so he doesn't have ads. And then when I go home and I start watching mine, I'm like, there's ads.
I have to watch commercials again.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me with television shows. When I watch TV on Hulu, like I can live with it because it's like just watching TV regular.
Yeah,
But when I'm watching a movie, it always feels really forced.
it does. Because they have to like cut it in awkward places because movies weren't made to have commercials in the middle of them. They're made to be
Watch all the way through.
Yeah.
I would feel better if they did like maybe a minute of ads in the beginning and then a minute of ads at
You
some.
couldn't do it at
couldn't
the
do it at the
end
end
because people would just walk
people
away.
just walk away. Interesting. But today's sponsor, ad placement.
And this is where the ad was placed.
Oh, dude, that'd be so great if we had ads,
Wouldn't it?
wouldn't it? We could. I mean, we could. Podbean emailed us and we're like, hey, you can put ads in now. And I was like, I knew that, but thanks.
We should reach out to some people about ads.
We should.
Just like randomly people. Oh my god. Okay, I feel like I have to explain what a romance is, even though it's pretty self-explanatory. So it's usually about a guy and a girl. We're getting more open with society nowadays, so a lot more movies and television shows are coming out where it's between a female and a female and a male and a male, which is great. We love equality.
Mm-hmm.
So it's usually where two people who don't know each other at the beginning of the film don't like each other usually or have some kind of disagreement, and then they're forced to spend time together, and then they fall in love with each other, and then there's a falling out, and then at the very end they discover that they can't live without that other person and they end up together. I have just basically told you the plot of every romance movie.
Every Hallmark romance movie.
Every romance movie.
I don't know if it's every romance movie.
Every romance movie.
You really think that every romance movie in the beginning they start out like disliking each other? Because I feel like there are just some romance movies where like they just don't know each other yet, and then they meet. But I will be honest, some of the romance movies that I'm thinking of right now also they all fit that bill.
Yeah, they all have a disagreement at the beginning. They don't like each other at the beginning. And I'm not going to talk about this now. I'm getting off of the topic of Palm Springs. I'm trying to get my thoughts together. Bear with me.
I got you.
But I'm not going to talk about it now. My favorite movie of all time is Hercules, and I will save that in-depth dive into Hercules for another day. But just taking that as its basic, it is a Disney movie, and it starts off with Hercules and Meg don't know each other. She's a big tough girl and can fend for herself, doesn't like him, and then they start hanging out. They figure out that they like each other, and then she does something. She doesn't. What is it? It's
She's
my
working for
favorite movie.
Hades.
I know she's working for Hades, but
That's the thing that she does. She works for Hades. She tricks Hercules.
yeah, and that's it. Yeah, and then he doesn't like her anymore, and then when she gets hurt, then he loves her, and then they end up together. Spoiler alert.
I mean, it's been out for like 30 years almost. Came out in the 90s.
Oh my god, it has been out for 30 years. It came out in 1993.
So almost
Don't
30
test
years.
me. Of course, I know when it came out.
I was just spoken out, spoken, mix speaking.
In 2 more years, it will be. I'm gonna die.
That is the thing now, isn't it? Just like
You
pretend
can't cough anywhere.
you can't. It's like coughing or sneezing makes you look like a time bomb.
Yeah.
Like people are just like side eyeing you just all the time. It's.
But then other people cough, and I don't think anything of it. Have you ever noticed that? Like, you think that, like, oh, if I cough, like, everybody's gonna, like, look at me weird. And maybe sometimes people do. But I've sat in class, and I've heard other people cough. Maybe not as badly as I do, but I've heard it, and maybe 1 or 2, like, coughs. And I don't think anything of it. I'm like, yeah, they gotta clear their throat.
Yeah, man. I'm afraid to sneeze because I am apt to have a runny nose all the time. And so I have to sneeze a lot because like I just get mucus because I'm a gross human being who has gross human being stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so afraid to sneeze. Like even just now when I was like, I have to sneeze, I thought you were going to be like, oh no, he's sneezing.
Anyways, Palm Springs.
Palm Springs.
I'm trying to think of what I want to say about it. I really liked it. I'm trying to just resonate because I just watched it. It's very interesting because it does follow the normal plot pattern of a romance film where they don't like each other at the beginning. So what it is I won't give the whole movie away, but I will give some spoilers if you haven't watched it. And you should go watch it because I thought it was pretty good. I wouldn't say it's like my top romance movie, but then again, I can't tell you what my top romance movie is. I'd have to really sit and think about it and probably rewatch a lot of movies. But he has already been living that day. We don't know how long. He's already in it. And then you find out that he got this power, this curse, by walking into a cave. And then she follows him into that cave one night. And then now she is living the same day. And so you see her going through the process. It's the same thing as Groundhog Day, where he is first like trying to get out of it, or he doesn't want to be living in it. And so he kills himself a bunch of times. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Groundhog Day. And then she does the normal thing where like then you start talking to everybody and you start learning everybody's life story, and then the next day like they don't know who you are, and then you freak them out by telling them information about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good, and when you meet Andy Samberg and his character, he's very done with life because he's already gone through all of that. And so he's like, life is meaningless. There is no God. There is no hell. There is nothing. Like, this is just existence, and there is no way to get out of existence. And then you have her dynamic of, no, that like this is, I can do it. You couldn't do it, but I can do it because I'm better than you. And so she goes through the exact same thing. But when they do fall for each other and they start having a good time, and I love it. I don't usually find like romantic comedies are like really hokey, like we said earlier, and I don't really find it comedic. Usually I won't laugh. I'm in it for the payoff of the couple actually getting together. This film actually made me laugh, and I don't like potty humor. I feel like I've said that on here before. I know that you really like it. I do not like potty humor. I don't get it. I'm not a child. You are a child.
What?
Farts and
What?
I don't get it. But this film had a lot of potty humor, but it also had just nice, like, I don't know what kind, I don't know the different types of humor. I know there's like slapstick and there's other, but I couldn't tell you what this kind of humor was. I would lean more to say that it was like foul, like potty humor. But it did make me laugh. And that was a great addition to the film. Do you want to say something?
The potty humor made you laugh?
Yeah.
I like the way that you said it when you were like, but it did make me laugh. Yes, of course. I'm very posh.
I didn't mean it like that. If you know me, I'm not posh.
Hey, but apparently you're too good for pee-pee poo-poo jokes.
I don't get it. Why is it funny?
Because it is.
Everybody does it.
Yeah, that's why it's funny. Because some people like to think that they like to pretend that they don't do it, and then like calling them out on it is really funny.
Girls don't fart, poop, or pee.
No, my favorite thing,
like everything that we consume, we just like pressurize it until it's nothing.
my favorite thing to do is when you have someone that like you really don't like, or like a girl's being really mean to you, you can just be like, that person sits on a toilet and just has the shits. Just like the worst runs you could possibly imagine. And they've lived through that.
I would not, but you find that funny.
I find that is more entertaining than anything else when I'm mad at someone. But what's funny is pee-pee poo-poo jokes.
No.
Anyway, potty humor made you laugh thinking about the movie. And
I'm trying to think. It was hokey, but it was funny. And I liked the character dynamic of him being done with life and her like still wanting to live, and then it shifts at the end because a secret comes out, and that's the part where it ruins. Like they're having fun and they love each other and they're just starting to like start their relationship, and then something happens, a secret comes out, and then they're like, no, we hate each other. This is never going to work. But he changes his perspective once he realizes that she no longer wants to be with him, or that she's mad at him. And then he's like, but life is worth living because of you. And it's such I don't know, that's like the thing of all romances. Like life doesn't matter. And then when you come into but life matters now because of you. You're my world.
You have made life matter, Father.
You have made you have made the life matter. I don't know, but it wasn't as hokey as some other movies, and I think that it paid off really well. And I like the big speech that he gave at the end, because she was like, you get one sentence for his big speech. That is such a staple in romantic movies. Like the big speech where the person comes running back and, no, I love you, and these are all the reasons why, and she's like, you get one sentence. And it was great. And then they die together, and then yeah. That's not the end, but
okay, cool. Glad.
That was my joke. It didn't pay off because you got really scared.
I was like, well, I mean, like that'd be a great ending, but like that's a morbid one.
It is pretty morbid. I'm trying to think if there's anything new that it did, but I don't think it did. I think it was really just trying to play off of the old like stereotypes of a romantic movie, but also they changed it with the humor because it actually made me laugh, and I feel like I don't usually laugh at romantic comedies.
Yeah, well, maybe it's because it was played more off as a satire.
Maybe.
Because like you having seen apparently all of the teen romance movies.
And also, maybe the teen romance movies are like, they're more dramatic because they're teenagers and teenagers love drama.
I just want to see some guy's head explode.
You don't see this in that movie.
Oh, well.
But it is pretty gruesome. It's a rated R movie.
Dude, it's got the R rating?
Yeah,
Dude,
so
I can't even
there's-
watch that without my parents around.
The fuck up. So there is inappropriate scenes.
No, it's gross. Grody.
How does that work? How was that?
Can you imagine if your boss, because we work at the same place, if our boss had walked back in and seen you during it's like when you're watching TV and then like your mom walks in right when the sex scene starts and you're just like, it's not that. It's just the one you just happen. It's not.
It's the one in the entire film.
Like this is all. And then she's like, turn it off. And you're like, no.
But people kept walking in. Obviously, I'm at work, and so when they would walk in, I'd quickly like shut down my iPad, and I'm like, "Yes, how can I help you?"
Yes, how can I help you?
I just wasn't watching people have sex.
Grody.
Gross. No, I think you're right. I think it was you didn't even see it, and you put the words in my mouth. It was a satire of romantic comedies, and it was really good. You should go watch it. That's pretty much all that I can say about it. I don't want to give away the ending. Let me say this about, not so much speaking to the to the romance of it, because it ends the exact same way that all romance ends.
They get together, and then they get married, and then the movie ends with them happy.
Yeah.
That's how a romance movie ends.
Okay, but that's why I just touched the mic, I'm sorry. That's why I love romance. And there's one of our professors who is very cynical and doesn't like happy endings, and I don't get it.
I can understand the appeal of a not happy ending, and well, he's also like a big film buff dude who's just like, in order for a film to hit home, it can't be happy at the end because then people just leave happy and they don't leave remembering your movie. You know, if it makes you upset at the end, then
Okay, I get that. If you leave upset, like you remember the film, but also I love happy endings.
Mhm.
Like it's just because that's. And his argument, maybe I'm wrong, he'll correct me, but his argument was that, like, that's not life. Like, life doesn't have a happy ending. Like, there's always, like, you can have happy days and you can have happy moments, and then, like, something else will come and ruin it. And so movies, they always end on a happy ending, and you don't get to see what happens afterwards. But I love happy endings because that's what you wish your life could be. You wish that you could just get to that one place, and it's just, and then you're happy, and then it just...
And then you die.
And then you die.
You're happy, and then you die.
Wouldn't that be just perfect?
Wouldn't that be great? If like the next time you were happy, you just died happy?
Yeah.
What if, that's a great movie concept, what if the one time you're truly happy, you die?
You die. That's like Christianity. I mean, it's not Christianity. It's
We're going to have to roll back on that one.
No,
What?
it's not where you're happy and then you die. It's you die and then you get eternal happiness.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that, like, what if the first time you are really truly happy, you die, and then your life ends?
But I feel like the one time that you're truly happy, I feel like that could happen at a very young age.
It could, and therein lies the dilemma.
Nobody gets past the age of 6.
Dude, I got a pony. Rachel! No! Damn it, Bob! I told you not to give him the pony.
Oh my god, and the whole movie is like you have to purposefully like upset people so that they don't die. Oh my god, that's our world. What if that's real life? Oh my god, we just came up with a movie.
It's great. It's great. Well, I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna move on to my thing.
Yes, do your thing.
My thing I'm excited to talk about. It's a video game. It's called Catherine. It is developed by Atlas Games and was released in 2011 on the PS3, and it is a trip. It is a trip. So Atlas Games also made the Persona series. If you played, I talked about Persona 5 on our stylization episode, I believe.
You can remember our episodes.
I just remember everything I've talked about. Nothing that you've talked about has been retained.
Are you being 100% right now?
I remember The Devil All the Time, and Vivarium.
Wow. And I feel like I explained those the worst. That's probably why you remember them.
Yeah, I was just nitpicking.
Okay. I cannot remember anything that you've talked about except Hollow Knight.
Yeah, and I barely talked about that.
Yeah.
It was the worst thing I've ever talked about.
See, this is okay. So great. We're remembering our worst topics. Anyways,
That's
go
perfect,
ahead.
perfect. Yeah, so sort of plot here is Vincent, who's the main character who you're playing, is in a relationship with a girl named Catherine. And it seems like they're probably going to get married, but Vincent doesn't really want to get married. Well, flash forward, Vincent gets like blackout drunk one night and has these weird nightmares about having to climb up this tower that is continually falling underneath him. And once he reaches the top of this place, he wakes up, and he wakes up next to a girl that he doesn't know. In his room, right? And then, push comes to shove. This new girl is very pushy, and like it is very much like, don't cheat on me. Like, we're in a relationship, and she's very like passionate and like the sensual lover kind of person,
Okay.
where it's just like the sexy lady that's just like the stereotype, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And then you find out that Catherine, your girlfriend, is pregnant. That's what she says. She's pregnant. And so there's this inner conflict between and Vincent, because he doesn't want to marry Catherine. Oh, by the way, the other girl's name is also Catherine. One's with a K, one's with a C.
That would have been good to know when you first started this.
Yeah. It's great. So the main conflict comes down to Vincent himself. He's having these nightmares because a bunch of dudes have been having these nightmares, and if you fall off the tower, you die for real. And if you fall off the tower in your dream, you die for real.
How does he know this?
Well, he doesn't know this, but you as the player,
okay.
you as the player know this. And so there's this. The main struggle comes with Vincent during the daytime when he's trying to decide whether or not to date Catherine or Catherine. This bit's gonna go on for a while. Better get ready.
Oh my god.
So the gameplay is really interesting though, because during the daytime and the nighttime, there's two different kind of settings. So during the daytime, Atlas is really good at doing social simulators mixed with other types of games. So the daytime is a social sim. What that is it's like you go around and you talk to people and you make decisions and you steer conversations, kind of like a visual novel, but with a little more control. And then the decisions that you make during the daytime affect the storyline.
Oh, okay.
And the nighttime is more of the gameplay aspect, where it's a puzzle platformer where there's a bunch of blocks. It's a 3D puzzle, and you have to sort of pull out blocks and move them and then like stack them and then like make stairs to climb up to the top of this tower.
Okay.
And once you get to the top of the tower, you've beaten the level. And there's a whole bunch of imagery during the night, like each boss sort of represents what Vincent is currently fearing the most in his relationships. So the night that he finds out that Catherine is pregnant, he sees like a baby.
I was gonna say, does he see like a giant baby or something?
Yeah, he actually sees a giant ass baby.
Yeah.
And then it's like chasing after him. It's like, Dad.
That's terrifying.
Some nights he sees his girlfriend Catherine, and then other nights he sees this weird sex butt monster.
Roll that back.
Other nights he sees this weird sex butt monster. It's a butt. It's got a face, and it's weird, and it's supposed to symbolize sex.
Oh, okay. I was like, where does the sex come in?
Yeah. I haven't finished the game yet because I've been playing 30 million other games as well as doing all of my homework and living a life as a college student, which we love. It's great.
I'm so tired.
Oh, I'm so tired. And one thing that that Catherine does really well is this point of tension in the love triangle kind of thing going on. So Catherine and Catherine don't know that Catherine and Catherine exist.
Makes sense.
Right? He's keeping it secret from everyone. But he has all of these moments where like they're all like where Catherine and Catherine will be in the same place at the same time and he'll be there. And then it's like this point of like unbelievable tension.
Yeah.
So like one morning, so he keeps falling asleep and then not knowing like how Catherine is ending up in his house and having sex with him, and then waking up, and then she's there. You know.
I don't want to know. Having sex? Are you playing? Like, do you
No,
decide?
You don't see anything.
Oh, but you just know?
But it's implied because she talks about like she's very suggestive during the morning time.
Yeah, right. You said that, yeah.
And so like you can infer that they've likely had sex even though you yourself don't see it.
Okay.
And that's also
I was
like
gonna
a
say
point
that's
of,
a very weird video game then.
yeah, it's very much laced in mystery. Like you don't really know if your girlfriend is pregnant or not, or if she's just saying that. Because what happens is during the social sim times, like the characters around you will be talking and they'll drop little hints to make you doubt certain things about the characters, like you would as a true person. Like
Yeah.
you doubt, like, is this woman really pregnant with my baby, or is she just trying to get me to marry her? And so they sow these tiny little doubts in your head about each girl, and so you have to like weigh your options, you know. So yeah, there are these points of tension when they're all in the same area in the same time. So one morning, Vincent wakes up and Catherine is there, and then Catherine comes by to drop off like a gift or something, and he's like saying, he's like, "Oh, that's the landlady," and then he just like slams the door, and then he's talking to Catherine, and then Catherine on the inside is like doing something, and then Catherine hears Catherine on the outside, and then he says that Catherine is actually his boss, who was staying the night because he was super drunk, and then Catherine believes that Catherine wasn't there, even though Catherine was there.
So I don't get this. Is he? When you said one night that he just wakes up in another woman's house?
No, in his house with another woman.
In his house with another woman, just random, and it's never explained how she got there, why she's there.
Nope. So basically, what happens is you are drinking.
Because I was just gonna say, because then he's just cheating. That's just cheating.
So you're drinking one night, and then that girl comes up to you and starts talking to you, and then like, you leave, and the next thing you know, like you wake up and she's there in your bed.
So he is cheating.
We think so.
Okay.
Yeah. And so he's having this moral dilemma of like, I'm cheating on my girlfriend, but like I'm also not happy with the way things are going because he doesn't want to marry Catherine.
This is gonna get me very aggravated. I'll let you say everything that you want to say. I won't step on my soapbox.
He doesn't want to marry Catherine because he likes the way that things are. He thinks that things are settled, and he's in between jobs, and he doesn't feel like he's ready for marriage.
Okay.
You know, and so when he ends up cheating on her, he starts feeling this guilt. But it's like that's the point of the game, is this internal struggle.
Yeah.
Of like why am I guilty? Should I continue this relationship? I mean, obviously I shouldn't be cheating, but which girl should I choose? And there's a really interesting sort of part of the game where when you finish each sort of nighttime level, there's this confessional booth that you go into, and it asks you one question. In that question, it has two answers. You can either answer kind of like a yes or a no. But if you're playing online, if you have a PlayStation Plus account and you play online, you can then look at polls of what everyone answered. So you can see the polls of everyone, whoever played on their first time, what the percentages was of each thing that they chose, and then it does women from their 20s to 30s, and then men from their 20s to 30s. Wow,
so you really get like everyone's opinion.
Yeah, and so it's really, really interesting to me. That's sometimes really seeing where the differences are between the genders, as well as just like what people chose their first time through. So I've always really enjoyed that aspect of it. But I think that the game does a good job, because when it comes to like romance, there's got to be someone to root for.
I was going to say, exactly. I was like, so who are you rooting for? Like, yeah.
But the thing about the game is that you can pick who to root for. Okay. You know? Because you can pick the nostalgia of your old girlfriend, the girl that you've been with for forever, or you can pick like the allure of the new sexy girl that you've just met. And you decide through your choices and your actions who you end up staying with at the end of the game. There's different endings.
So there's no like one like at the very end where it says like you pick her or you pick her. It's based on all of your choices throughout.
As far as I understand, yes.
Okay. So you can't like pick all for the first Catherine and then at the very end be like, no, I want the second Catherine.
I mean, there's likely some sort of moment where it's like a
it's a crossroads.
It's a crossroads.
Yeah.
which sort of resets all the decisions you've made, but then that gives you a different ending with that person.
Okay.
So maybe you're cheating on your girlfriend for forever, and then you end up marrying your girlfriend, but she knows that you cheated, and so you're not happy in the end.
Gotcha. Okay.
Or maybe you cheat on your girlfriend, and then you end up breaking up with your girlfriend to get with the new girl, and she never finds out that you had a girlfriend in the first place, and you end up being happily married. So it all depends on your decisions. Like, you know, that's one thing that Atlas does, is it's very good at having like your decisions and things affect what happens throughout the game. It's a really, really interesting game to play through, and I think it's fun because everyone's got their own type, you know?
Yeah.
And so each of these girls has a different kind of stereotype. And if you play with the full body, which is so Atlas does this thing where they'll remake the game and they'll add an extra character to it.
Okay.
So they added an extra character to it, also named Catherine. But this person is
I was gonna say, how did they misspell her name this time?
with a Q.
No way.
Yeah, QATHERANE.
That just doesn't make any sense. Okay.
I mean, it doesn't, but it is. And this Catherine is a completely different stereotype, and I won't spoil anything about any more of that. But it, you know, I'm gonna spoil it. So that Catherine from the DLC, I'll say, is actually a transgender. It's a dude. Yeah.
What?
It's a dude the whole time. I don't know if you can date him, but like, he's
Sure as I can try.
I was trying for so long. I was like, I know this is the DLC character. Can I date the DLC character? I need to know. And so I was really trying to date the DLC character, and I found out it was a dude, and I was like, this does not sway me.
That does not.
But yeah, so I was trying so hard to date that person, and I think that they're not gonna let you end up dating that one in the ending, which I think is dumb.
That's really dumb. And I want to hear the reasoning behind it, because
but I also don't know.
Okay, you don't know. Okay, well, we'll leave it at that. We don't know.
I'm thinking, because at least with the choices that I've made, I've hit this point where it's like, all of your friends are like, but Catherine's a dude, and you're like, yeah, I know, but just like, I
want to see.
I want to see. You know, it's like, it's the personality, and then they're like it's very respectful of the transgender.
I was gonna say,
character.
I don't think they would be.
Yeah,
like,
they're not like
what's the word?
Explicit.
Not explicit, but like exposing. No, it's Oh, I don't remember the word. It starts with X. I don't know. Being rude about.
Yeah, no, they're very open-minded about it. All the characters are, and I mean, that's a great thing. It's really interesting.
Exploit.
They're not exploiting that. It's at first it is this moment of just like, oh my gosh, she's a dude, but which seems like an exploitation at first, but it's not carried out that way. But I think that is that first sort of shock moment is definitely like a rational thing for that, because you just find out that Catherine's a guy or transgender.
I was gonna say, well, we want to be careful about that. We don't want to. I mean, we don't.
I feel like if you're expecting this person to be female of sex, and this entire time that's what you thought, and then suddenly you find out that this person is not of the female sex, but is in fact of the male sex, but with female gender. That is aptly, it is. I mean, it's surprising.
Well, yeah, no, it's surprising. I'm just meaning with our terminology. Just we want to yeah, and you said it right. She is a male by sex.
Yes, male by sex, female by.
Is it gender?
By gender.
Okay. I just want to make sure we're not getting those confused and being rude or anybody offending anybody.
Yeah.
By saying, oh, it's a he, but no, it's a she.
Yeah, she is a male by sex, female by gender, and so they explore that for a little bit. I have not, like I said, I haven't finished the game, so I don't know how it goes. But gosh darn it, she's cute.
Oh, she's cute.
she was my favorite. She was my number one favorite, and then I found out she was a dude, and I was like, this does not change anything.
That doesn't change anything. It shouldn't change anything. I don't think so.
It doesn't.
When did the game come out?
The full body came out in 2017, 18, but the original game did not have the transgender character and came out in 2011.
Okay, and then did you say what kind of style it was?
Yeah, it is a social simulator / 3D platforming puzzle.
Because whenever you're explaining, I just hit the mic again. Whenever you're explaining it to me, I'm trying to imagine it in my head, and then I couldn't remember the style you said, and I was like, so many different things are happening.
Yeah, so Atlas does a lot of anime styles. So the style is very reminiscent of like animation, Japanese animation.
Okay.
and there are the cutscenes, like the full on cutscenes, are all hand animated.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah, they did the same thing with Persona 5 and all of the Persona games. That's their shtick. That's where they sit, and they're really good at it.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's
And that was something I didn't get to talk about, which I won't go into too much, but a lot of romance movies also do that, which I'm glad that you talked about it. A triangle, a love triangle. It's a love triangle, right? The two of the people don't have to like each other,
yeah.
or do they? No.
No, it's like
Because
the Sir Lancelot and King Arthur situation was a love triangle because he loved his wife, Lancelot loved his wife, but she
the
cheated.
two of them don't love each other.
Yeah,
No.
the two of them don't love each other.
Okay, then it's a love triangle, and I feel like that's another not stereotype, but it is another
Trope.
Trope, yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. That you see in a lot of romance movies, and you're always rooting for that one person, and it's cool because in a video game you can actually choose the person. In
Yeah,
a movie, you don't really get to choose, but usually in a film, spoiler alert if you've never seen one, usually they get neither of them.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. I don't think I finished that thought, but what I was saying is like it's nice because everyone has their own type, and each character is sort of like a different type, and you as the player get to choose
Your type.
your type.
That's really cool.
And yeah, it's really interesting. And that's a lot with a lot of dating sim games. There are dating sim games which I could have talked about, but I didn't want to talk about them because that's kind of like a cop out because they're just like visual
Yeah.
novels, and you're just talking and picking who you want. And not to poop on those games, there are a lot of those games that are really well designed. But I feel like as a whole,
You don't really see like
don't.
romance in video games.
You don't, and that's
interesting.
it's difficult to do. Let's move on to recommendations. Cool. Recommendations. So, I have for a video game, this is not a romance video game, but this is a video game that includes a heavy romance aspect. Dragon Age Inquisition. It's a beautiful game. It's an RPG. It's one of the games that gets you the closest to playing Dungeons and Dragons in video game form. It's a real-time strategy RPG placed in sort of a medieval-ish fantasy world. But then when the romance comes in from, you can romance like any woman in the game, and there's so many.
Mhm.
And you can have romances, and there's like a bunch of different quests, and you can romance whoever you want and as many people as you want. You can romance the men, you can romance the women. It's fun. It's not like the aspect of the game, but it is a fun aspect of a
Mhm.
game that you don't see that often. It's just with like actual relationships, not just like I'm gonna have sex with this person, but it's like you're generating a relationship. There's like relationship building. There's quests for these relationships of which you're purposefully going out of your way to spend time with this person.
Mhm.
And then like if you're dating two people at once, then they will both get upset with you,
Ha.
and then you lose them both.
Yeah.
Or you get them, or you date one and
I
marry
don't
one.
think I've ever seen a media where one person, male, female, has been after or is in love with two people and they get them both. That just doesn't happen.
Yeah,
I would
mean,
like to see a movie where they get both.
I think my favorite is when I was talking about Persona 5, you can date all of the girls in the game. But then at the end, like they all find out because you invite them all to Valentine's Day. It's a great bit. And then that's how the game ends, is with that whatever your romance
perfect.
choices were. That's the first one. This one is a interesting one. I wanted to mention it because it is kind of a backwards romance, an anti-romance film, if you will. And
Interesting.
I was thinking a Marriage Story.
I was just thinking that. I was thinking, because you're giving multiple recommendations, I was thinking I should give multiple recommendations. I've never seen A Marriage Story, but you've told me to watch it multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, this story is about people getting divorced, and so it's like a backwards romance. Like she is divorcing him, and she's moving on, and it's the story of how like this divorce happens and like how you fall out of love.
Yeah.
And just all of these raw emotions that come along with
I
that.
don't think I could handle that.
It is an amazing movie though. So I do recommend that as well. I'll just leave it with those two recommendations there.
Dang, I gotta think of two now.
You don't have to think of two. Oh, fine, do whatever you want.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, but I know the first one that I wanted to recommend is 50 First Dates.
Is that the one when the girl
And the boy fight at the beginning, and then they fall in love.
fall in love?
And then they fight again, and then they actually get together.
No, but that's the one with
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler.
Mhm.
Yeah, the guy from A Bedtime Story, where all the bedtime stories come to life.
Why? That is not seriously the movie that you equate with Adam Sandler.
It is indeed.
No, it is not. He has so many great films, and that's the one that you equate with him.
I watched that movie like 6 times.
Have you
as a
ever
kid.
seen another Adam Sandler movie? Have you ever seen Happy Gilmore?
No.
Have you? Oh my god. Oh my god. What's Uncut Gems?
No.
Billy Madison?
Nope.
Waterboy?
Nope.
You haven't seen any of them. I'm not going to keep listing them, but you haven't seen any of them. He's great. Grown Ups?
Nope.
Grown Ups 2?
Nope. I guess you could say I made Adam Sandler sad.
That was not good. Anyway, 50 First Dates, it stars Adam Sandler, and I can't remember the leading lady's name, but the storyline is she has amnesia, and Adam Sandler's character falls in love with her, and then every day has to convince her that they know each other and that they're actually dating, and that he wants to like continue like a life with her, and it's again reliving the same day over and over again. Why did I do this?
That one's less of reliving the same day and just like
She's reliving the same day
Yeah.
over and over again. So she has amnesia, and she can only remember, I mean, she's been doing this at the beginning of the movie. You find out really early on that she's already been doing this for a couple of years, I think, and her uncle or her brother and her father are enabling her and just letting her live the same day over and over again. And then when Adam Sandler's character comes in, he's like, you shouldn't be doing that. Like, she needs to like live her own life. Why would you like force her to live the same day over and over again? But he falls in love with her, and so they go on 50 first dates. They go every day. They go on a new first date to her, but it's multiple dates for him, and he's falling deeper in love. And she's like, I just met this guy.
Mhm.
It's a really good film. I really like the way that they tied it together at the end, and it's so beautiful. It makes me cry every time I watch it. Another love story.
Spider-Man 2.
See, I want to no, honestly, I would say like Spider-Man Far From Home or Spider-Man Homecoming, but they don't really it's not really a romance movie though.
Mhm.
It's action with romance sprinkled into it, which is the thing about at the end of the podcast. That's the thing about romance is it's really diverse and can be sprinkled in like anywhere. And dramas and action films and comedies and
Yeah, well, because romance
horror.
is all around you. It's in everyday life, and
Yeah.
so the ability it is so versatile. Like it can fit in any genre. Like Dragon Age Inquisition is a action game based on war tactics, and then Catherine is a game about getting nudes from 2 separate women.
Goodness.
But they both of them include romance, and so that's just it's really it's unique in that aspect because it's such a broad category,
Mhm.
because so many things can include romance and so many things can be romantic.
There's probably some Tom Hanks movies that have romance in it that are just
Forrest
going over
Gump.
my head. Forrest Gump's pretty good. I'm not gonna recommend that one though.
Oh,
I am Forrest Gump. I'm gonna do 3. You should watch Forrest Gump.
you just gotta one up me, don't you?
No, Forrest Gump is good. I won't go into details about that one, but it stars Tom Hanks, and Tom Hanks can't do anything wrong, so you should definitely go watch
You can
Forrest
do
Gump.
whatever you want for forever.
The other movie that I'm going to recommend is I just had the name. The Theory of Everything.
The Theory of Everything. That's a good movie.
Have you seen it?
I've seen most of it.
So it is it's the retelling of the story of Stephen Hawking, and it goes through his life, finding out that he has, I think it's ALS. I can't remember the actual like name of the disease.
Hey Siri, what disease does Stephen Hawking have?
She shut off. She wasn't gonna listen to you.
Found from Wikipedia.org. Hawking was diagnosed with motor neuron disease, also known as amyotrophic lateral sclerosis or ALS in 1960.
ALS.
Look at you being so smart.
Because he did remember a while ago there was the ALS challenge where you dump a bucket of freezing water on your head. Do you remember when that happened in like the early 2013?
That's what that was about?
It was about ALS. Nobody knew that, which really bothered me. You were supposed to dump the bucket of ice or ice water on your head, but you were also supposed to donate to ALS. Anyways, the theory of everything, it's about him discovering that he has ALS and him coming to terms with this and believing that he only has a couple more years to live, falling in love, and it's the love story between him and his wife and the troubles that they go through, because they did have a lot of troubles throughout their marriage and having kids and all of these things, and being a famous scientist and theoretical physicist.
Physicist?
Physicist?
Physicist.
It's really good, and I think it shows the, like you were saying with a marriage story, it's not really like a hokey love story. Like, it's the opposite of a love story, and this is a love story, but you also really get to see those real moments of like pain and when you don't get along with the other person, and that's what real life is. This is not always happy dory, happy ending stuff.
Happy Dory?
Happy dory.
You mean hunky?
Happy dory.
Okay.
I said what I said. Yeah,
Okay.
those are gonna be my 3 movies.
3 movies. Okay, wait. Now I have to give another one, and then you give another one, and
We
the
just go on
podcast, it never
forever.
ends. Now that is it for this week. Thank you guys for joining us on this intellectual journey. We will catch you guys on the flip side.
Bye.
Media for the Intellectually Impoverished is produced by Trey Taylor Smith and Miranda Randy Zapes.
Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at MFTII Podcast, or email us at mftiipodcast@gmail.com.
That's MFT 2 Eyes Podcast. Thanks for listening.